Hello friends, I am back. Today in this video we are going to talk about our respiratory system, how we breathe in and breathe out air and use it. But wait a second, one thing, there is a difference between breathing and respirating air. Breathing means only breathing in, breathing out, okay, but respirating air means something totally different from everything. The respirating in air means RBCs take oxygen and transfuse it into energy. Then this energy is absorbed by the other cells of our body and then they create another energy explosion. This is called respirating in air. So let me give you a starting of all the organs of our body in the respiratory system. Okay. The nostril. It is from where we take in air first. Air goes then into the nasal cavity. Here is the nasal cavity. There are some hair-like things called nasal hair, which filter out dust particles and mucus present at the lining of the nose. These two filter the air from the dust particles. Then there are some bead-like things called receptors. These pick up the smell and tells your brain what you are smelling, good or bad. The air goes into the pharynx, also the windpipe, then through the pharynx to the larynx. This larynx is called the voiced box of our body. It is also called the vocal cord. Without the larynx, we will not be able to talk. And this thing over here, flap-like thing, see? This thing is called the epiglottis. When we breathe in air, it just goes. The epiglottis does nothing. But when we take in food, the action happens. The epiglottis raises down so that the food does not go into our pharynx. And even if it goes into our pharynx, it does not do any serious damage to our respiratory system by not entering our lungs. Okay, then from the larynx it goes, then this is the trachea. Here, this is the trachea. These are the lungs, the bronchi, bronchioles, thoracic cage, also called the rib cage, and the diaphragm. The thoracic cage, also called the rib cage. It is a set of 12 pairs of ribs that support and protect our lungs, heart, and diaphragm, and a bit of trachea. The bone in here is called the sternum or the breastbone. The last two pairs of ribs aren't attached to the sternum, but only attached to the backbone only. These are called floating ribs. Sorry about the rib cage, it is covering everything. Here is a more clear diagram of the lower respiratory system. The air goes in through the trachea. See this white C-shaped things over here? No? Let me give you a riddle. These are neither too hard nor too soft. White like bones but not white. And they are present in our knees so that our knees can be supported. Do you know what is that? Cartilage. It is called the cartilage. This cartilage helps support our trachea, or else the trachea would collapse. Then the air goes into smaller branch-like projections called bronchi. Then in even smaller projections, bronchioles, and goes into the alveoli. Alveoli or air sacs. And one astonishing fact, that 30 million alveoli in each lung. That means 60 million alveoli in our two lungs. But don't worry, the alveoli is a microscopic thing. Air sac, I mean. And yes, I want to tell you a thing or two about the diaphragm over here. This diaphragm separates the chestal cavity from the abdominal cavity. The diaphragm, when we breathe in air, the alveoli swell up the lungs swell up and the diaphragm goes down. When we breathe out air, the diaphragm goes up, alveoli contract to its normal size, and the lungs contract and the air goes out. And the diaphragm also separates it, or else everything would have been mixed. It is a fleshy, muscular, dome-like organ. Okay, then let's talk about the alveoli. Whatever is happening in the alveoli, there are blood vessels, blue and red colored blood vessels called capillaries present around our alveoli. In these capillaries, there are blue RBCs going through. Do you know why? These blue RBCs contain carbon dioxide. Okay, when the oxygen has been absorbed by the RBCs, then they transfuse it into energy, and the byproduct is carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide clings to the blue RBCs, thus making them blue. Then after the air enters to the alveoli, then all the other gases are kept out and the oxygen is taken in. The RBCs give up their wasted carbon dioxide and suck in the oxygen. When they suck in the oxygen, they become red in their color, true to their name, and they again transfuse energy. And the other gases, no worry. They go from the alveoli to the bronchioles, bronchioles to the bronchi, bronchi to the trachea, trachea to the larynx, larynx to pharynx, pharynx to nasal cavity, and out into the atmosphere. And yes, another thing, these two bag-like structures are called lungs, and each lung has different parts or different lobes. Lungs lobes, I mean. The right lung has 3 lobes and the left lung is smaller, so it has only 2 lobes. The right lung has 3 lobes, which are right superior, right middle and right inferior. The left lung is smaller and has only 2 lobes, left superior, left inferior. Do you know why is the left lung smaller than the right lung? Because the heart is supported in between this. If the left lung, wait a second, erase it. Okay, now I was telling, if the left lung was equal to the right lungs in size, then the heart wouldn't have fitted in between. It would have been placed somewhere else, which would cause complications. That is why we have a smaller left lung than the right lung. Yes, now I have told you everything about the respiratory system. I am going to summarize it once again. Respiratory system divided into 2 parts. Upper respiratory system, upper respiratory system, lower respiratory system. Upper respiratory system contains nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx. The lower respiratory system contains trachea, bronchi, bronchiole, thoracic cage, also the rib cage, diaphragm and the lungs. The air goes in through the different organs into the alveoli. When the oxygen is sucked in by the alveoli, the RBCs absorb it and become red, and the wasted is thrown out of the body. Right lung has 3 parts: right superior, right middle, right inferior. The left lung has 2 parts: left superior and left inferior. Here is the 2-dimensional diagram of the whole respiratory system, including the upper and the lower ones. And it is recommended to breathe through the nose, not through the mouth. Do you know why? Because of nasal hair and mucus in our nose, the dust particles get separated and only pure air goes in. If we breathe through the mouth, then there is no nasal hair to separate the dust particles, so the impure air will go through our mouth and will cause complications. So this nasal hair is like a sieve, no? And the mouth has no such sieve. The teeth are not enough for that. And you will be inhaling dust. Okay, enough of that. Now that I've talked all about whatever is there in our respiratory system, I would want to tell you one thing, that my next video will be, dear viewers, please say what will be my next video on. You just send the topic on the comments box below and I will see it and make a video on that. Okay, the topic I like best will be made in a video first. Yes. Now please write in the comments box if I've done any mistake all throughout this video. Okay, meet me in the next video. Bye bye.